All right, welcome to, I guess this is a new CBA podcast, I suppose. Nothing was really formally scheduled, but I was sitting there with a friend, the GM of Chicago, and we were kind of like, we miss a podcast, so I said, why don't we get together, sit down, I ask you some questions, and we'll get a discussion going. So I do have Tommy here. Tommy, say something. How are you doing today?
Hey, what's up? I'm good. How's everyone doing?
Pretty good. Well, thanks for joining me. We need more of these kind of multimedia kind of discussions, storylines going on in the league. It's not that it's been too quiet. I mean, the activity's been good. I say that from a commissioner perspective. Exports have been fine, except for a few teams. But we just need more of this. I was talking with Duncan last week, and I think you'll agree that the podcast era, if we want to call it that, when the CBA, when the C-Bus boys were doing their thing, that was kind of like our activity peak.
Yeah, I agree. It was like everyone was always tuned in to what they were going to say every week. Like, I know I personally look forward to the date they were doing it, even because there's something special about hearing other people talk about, you're all in the league, you know what you're doing and stuff, but hearing someone actually talk about the things happening and stuff makes it feel like more special.
Yeah, well, the funny thing is, and maybe this is a weird admission, I never listened to any single podcast. Like maybe a minute here, a minute there. I don't know why. It's not my thing, I guess. But people definitely were really excited about it, and that's always great. Even if it's just, and I think part of it is for a lot of us, we didn't have what the Columbus boys had, and people to talk to in real life about this made-up league we have going on. And so when you do the podcast, it's like this little hour-long session where you're sitting with a group of guys that actually are nerding out on the same kind of weird stuff that we all do every day.
Yeah, it was definitely, what they had was special. And like you said, I've never had that with almost anything I do. Because I'm old, so all the games we played and stuff, I played with a couple friends, but something like this I never did with anybody. So I had one friend in the league when 4 years ago when I first started ish.
Yeah.
And it was cool to talk to him about that, but he left pretty early on. So they had 4 guys at one point in there, and I'm sure it was amazing. They could just get to talk about that all the time. I was happy they shared it with us. They shared it with us a little bit.
Yeah, even if it got a little bit, they're young. They're young men having a good time. Maybe I think at least one of them, there was some drinking going on. Maybe the level of discourse wasn't the highest, but it still scratched that itch for a lot of people. And so it was really cool.
Yeah.
But now, so talking about the Columbus boys actually wasn't on my agenda at all, but we kind of already segued off into it because you mentioned it. It was a really special thing, and as the last academic year ended in real life, it was, at least from my perspective in league leadership, I guess, it sucked because you knew changes were coming and you didn't know how those changes were going to manifest themselves. And some of those changes involved you and were pretty explosive. So,
yeah, a bit explosive. Probably more than I wanted it to be. Kind of blew up out of nowhere a little bit, to be honest. But
so I guess I'm totally fishing for an answer here, so I'm not putting you on the spot a little bit. But there's no hard feelings from that, are there? J-Dubs is not someone that you're I hate that guy forever. And to be fair, we all have those people. We all have those people.
Yeah, I'm 38 years old. If I hated everybody that told me they hated me, there'd be a long list of people I hate. So, or if there's people that I hated that told me to fuck off or something. So no, not at all. I would welcome him back with open arms. He's fine. He was pissed off, and it happens.
Yeah, and
I stepped out of line a bit, so as well. So I understand that.
Yeah,
that's who I am at some point. So.
I don't want to say anything's necessarily on the horizon. It's just that as soon as that event happened, I kind of said to myself, and I've talked to a few people in the league, so they know who they are. But I said kind of immediately when that happened that even though that was unacceptable and something had to be done, I didn't want to close the door forever because I knew it was in that hurricane of big life changes going on for that group of people. So I'm glad to hear you say that, and it maybe down the road that may be explored, but it's nice to have that on the record so that I don't feel like I'm stepping on toes.
I didn't even want him to leave at the time. I mean, he could have. I know he left on his own volition, but I didn't.
Yeah.
I mean, he was fine. I mean, I could have took it to DMs. I could have said sorry, and he could have said sorry back, and it probably would have been ended right there, to be honest. So, I hate seeing him give up one of the young best teams in the league at a big part of his life, but it
Well,
happens. And yeah, he's always welcome back, in my opinion.
this might be a podcast confession. I guess it's been enough time I can do this. I don't even think you know this because I don't think you were involved in the. Who did Tampa beat when they were auto kind of in the TOC? It wasn't you, was it?
Me.
Oh, was it you?
Beat me and
Oh yeah, that's why I didn't tell you. That's why I didn't. That makes perfect. That's why I didn't tell you. But I kind of felt like because we had a GM come in and he did export like 3 or 4 times, but he didn't really change the team at all, and so it really was kind of like J-Dubs left and the team was on auto for a year and still managed to win. Like from my perspective, if you squint your eyes, it's kind of like he won.
He did, yeah, because when he left, it was like, wasn't it right at opening day too, wasn't it?
Right, it was right there.
I mean, he really set the lineup all and everything all set up already and stuff. So.
And so this is the confession, I was sending him the link for the live sim every time I started it. I was like, dude, this is still your team,
I think
man.
That's cool.
So I've kept that communication open. I don't think he's at a place to return anytime soon, but at least I've kept the door open, so I'm glad to hear you kept that door open. But to transition...
Yeah, I even said something about him in general not too long ago.
And that's kind of what spurred me to say it now, to be honest with you. You opened the door a crack, and I decided to open it more. So talking about one playoff loss, but now we're going on to the actual agenda, and this is why that wasn't on there. Let's go into last year's, because last year's I was just looking before we started at the playoff chat. You had one of the most eventful postseason runs we've seen in a long time. From like the first series to the last, nothing was easy.
Every series was not easy. Like I'm surprised my team was even able to put up a fight in the finals because it was rough the whole way through.
And fatigue does start to set in. I know it's just like numbers on an Excel spreadsheet at the end of the day, but fatigue does start to set in when you guys are playing that many games with only a couple days off.
The one player I knew I needed to win was dog shit tired the whole second round and third round and the finals and everything else. So,
yep,
my closer. So,
I'm pretty sure the game does take extra stamina off during the postseason too.
Yeah, it makes sense because I noticed it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it does. But it's funny because, and that was Mr. Richard, right? Richard Car. The Japanese guy from America.
Scorpion. Yeah.
Mario Kart. I don't know. So he was hurt, but you got Kuroda, even though he's kind of on my list because I didn't want him in the first place. I really didn't because I knew what was going to happen to him happened to him. And then I get him back, and he doesn't pitch for me well at all. And then I send him back to you, and he's back to being good again.
Yeah, and he just signed an extension too, actually.
But yeah, good for him, Mazel Tov. But I will say I'm surprised because Felix Saucedo has not been the Cy Young winner that I thought I was sending you.
No, he's been. I mean, he was fine last year, I think. Let me look. No, he sucked ass last year too. He was okay. His ERA was bad, but I mean, he put up the WAR like he's doing it this year. So, I mean, his numbers aren't great on the surface, but they're not bad. Like when you look at the advanced numbers.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at him right now, and it's his batting average on balls in play is north of 440. So I mean, like that's probably.
Yeah, I mean, his WHIP is almost 1.8, which makes no sense. It's insane. They can't. It's
unsustainable. But also I've noticed I was looking through your team and another player you recently acquired from Vancouver. He only got 4 starts under his belt, so extremely small sample size. And it's another name that I can't really pronounce, but the Brick Miguel.
I say Yzagiri,
whatever. He's also not. He's having a bad start, but it's also similar to the same footprint we're seeing with Saucedo. Huge BABIP. Huge ERA, but he's still getting the WAR. He's still doing the work, but it just doesn't look pretty.
Yeah, I think part of it is, I don't know, I've been trying a little bit of things at defense, but my defense isn't bad. I'm just doing a platoon kind of thing at shortstop, which will be changing a little bit now, and after tonight's sim. So I think.
I will say you are 9th in defensive efficiency in the PL, but maybe between you and me, I feel like in older iterations of the game, I had a really good handle on defense, and I build a lot of my teams on defense. And I feel like I don't have a handle on defense right now. Just honestly.
Yeah, I agree because I mean I've put shortstops in that had like 75 range and they're still so mid. So I'm like, it doesn't really make sense to me.
Right.
26 did a lot of things that don't super make sense to me, to be completely honest. So
I actually agree with that completely. It's like I feel like I'm building my teams in the same way, and now obviously this year and last year I've been tanking, but I feel like I'm building my teams the same way, and I'm not getting the same success I used to have. But the success I used to have used to confuse people. So maybe the game's working as intended now. I don't know.
yeah,
I just feel a little lost at the
I
moment.
kind of feel that too. But I have play like Dustin Hill. I'm like, I don't understand how he could go from like he just was so bad so much time last year after being so good. Like I don't understand how some players can just fall off the map. Like Wamhoff, I signed to a big contract and his ratings have fallen like 10 on across the board pretty much. I'm like, dude, why does this happen so often in 26? Like it makes no sense to me.
Yeah, and the Wim Hof's been interesting because I actually had him for one season. He was one of those players that just didn't get signed, and he had kind of a slow start, and then he had a fantastic second half of the season in the Silver League, and he was great in 2089, and he was great in 2090, and he still looks pretty good this year. But you're right, it's like his defense
And his
isn't the
power's
same as
not
it
there
was.
anymore either, which is just
Yeah, the
that's
power
where they
is.
fell off.
But speaking of power, though, you kind of are, and you always have been, and I know you claim you're not, but you're always kind of the guy that finds the power bats. Like every team you've ever managed has been defined by
And it's
setting
so
the home
funny
run
too because
record.
it's always basically an accident. Like even in Phoenix, I was doing that. I mean it wasn't like I was going out and searching these guys, but then I'd see guys I want to draft and they just happen to look like that. like Jerry Garcia. Like he's someone that
That's
like I never really try to sign, but it just kind of happens.
and he was on the agenda. I wanted to talk about him. I know that's why you brought him up because I was looking over your team to see who's interesting to talk about, and it, he's definitely not a guy that you had circled because his bonus is only 6.2 million. So he wasn't someone we were bursting down the gates to sign as soon as international free agency opens. I've had players like that too. What was his name? Hentu Yang. For me, he was one of those guys who was just left over. I signed him. He ended up being a pretty good starter for years. The interesting thing with Garcia is he's really only got power, but it's real power. I've had so many players over the year that look like
He
that with power, but don't actually hit home runs.
he's one of the few players that I feel like if the ratings could go over 80, like his legit would. Because every time he does like a development, he always has an outstanding, and it always says like his power is like generational, like every time.
See, it's funny, my scout, which is what we're seeing on the podcast screen, is my scout is not who we should be going on, which is kind of part of the fun part because I am totally capped out on money, so I'm getting like half of baseline, and I don't scout majors as it is. So yeah, so let's take a look at OSA, but even OSA only has him at a 75 out of 80, but. Based on his stats, I agree. He's probably a 90 or 95 on power. He's got that Aaron Judge level power.
Yeah, and I also think it's kind of interesting is that he's one of those players that are kind of like, let me look who else I was thinking of. 1 second. Kind of, I mean, a little bit, but Atherton and Garcia are very similar, just the opposite sides of the plate. But
Oh yeah, and I
Atherton's
know
not
him
hitting home
too.
runs, pretty much. I mean, he is playing less games, but they both have that weird BABIP, which you don't usually see with power hitters in this game.
Yeah, it's
But Garcia's is like could be like 65. That's like what I have. He still has room to grow if the game let him, which is
right.
kind of insane.
But it's funny you mentioned George because he's another player that I actually used to have. I forgot about that, but he's the person I'm thinking of when I say I've seen these players with this huge power, this huge eye. They're a fly ball hitter. Everything's set up. They should be hitting like they should be in your real life example. They're your every year 40 home run hitters, and they're getting like 15 in a full season. It doesn't make any sense to me.
Well, you literally just described Eric Coleman, which I'm like I don't understand how he's not hitting. Like I give him like almost 400 at bats a year, like 350, 400. How's he not hitting like 30 home runs.
Who were you talking about
He's
exactly?
got Eric Cole, catcher.
Yeah. Sorry, I heard a different name. I mean, yeah, that's another perfect
Last year he hit
example.
6 and 350 plate appearances. Makes no sense.
It's like maybe we just. It's like I've had this long theory. I've had a theory for a long time, and I haven't done any research on it. I don't know if I could do research on it, but I feel like player ratings, their offensive ratings, are still in some way tied to their position. Like I'm sure Eric Cole is a great power hitter for a catcher, but that doesn't mean much.
Yes, I agree with that.
Or his eye is fantastic for a catcher. He's a generationally good eye for a catcher. That's like 50 walks a year. Great job.
Well, that's so funny you say that too, because like, you think like center field, it's not like a prime position in the CBA, but there's some good names.
Yep.
But like, I feel like Matt Harris should not be on pace for like 25 home runs because he only has 55 power.
Right, but it's funny because I feel like if I am in any way right with this theory, it does make kind of sense because we see it seems that our best players tend to be center fielders or have been in history. Bungo was a center fielder. I believe Weiss is a center fielder, and so even though Harris looks kind of average, he's being compared to like all stars, where Cole's being compared to a bunch of crap. To be honest with you.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that makes sense actually. Like, I wouldn't surprise you if they came out and said that.
Yeah, I mean it just fits the pattern, but also it could just be random chance. Who knows with this game? So transitioning now away from kind of your team, then I think we hit all the interesting points. Is there any other player on your team that you want to highlight as being like someone that maybe we're not talking about that we should be?
I mean, I think Matt Harris doesn't get enough. Like, he gets some love, but that was a trade that was really hard for me to do, and I was surprised I did it, to be honest, because I liked
Yeah,
Mario Gonzalez a lot, which he wasn't a center fielder when I traded him. He got a big defensive bump this offseason.
and
But Matt
that's the
Harris and
key.
Justin Hill are like just amazing players for me.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly didn't know that much about Matt Harris, and he doesn't look like he's a 65 overall. I mean, I know it doesn't matter, but it is an eye-catching number. He's supposed to be good, but I don't know if he's supposed to be this good in the PL.
Well, yeah, that's the thing, because like, I mean, he was really good last year, but he's on pace for almost 4.5 WAR still. So
Yeah,
it's not like he really slowed down this year, even though the PO I feel like is a lot harder than it was last year. So
and we're going to talk about that in a second. But the funny thing is about center field, and I think not to this degree, because Matt Harris is way better than the player I'm thinking of, but I want to say about 10, 15 years ago, I drafted Sergio Peraza in the first round. In the first offseason, he had a successful dev lab, got a little faster, was able to play center field, and just getting to that 55 or 50 center field, being able to play it, seems to unlock these 4 and 5 WAR seasons. But then as soon as they lose that little step, they're kind of just a guy now. Being able to play center field is everything.
yeah, well, it feels weird for having like good. See, my center, I'm gonna date myself a bit here, but center fielders for me, like, I remember I had like Glenn O'Hara back then, all the way in Phoenix, or like Ben Ward, or like Bill Fleury. Like, these were like the center fielders that I've rocked for like 20 years in the CBA.
Yep.
So then I like never really had good center fielders, and then I got the guy from Robbie. I can't remember his name right now, but that's the first really good center fielder I've ever had in the CBA, and I'm like, oh, this is nice.
That wasn't
Like,
Steve Rice, was
before it
it?
used to be pretty hard to get. No, it was I'm trying to find it now.
Because Steve Rice was kind of like you. Yeah, it was the guy before Steve Rice. Because you're right. It was like you got a taste of like, oh, when I have a center fielder that's good at defense and offense, that's like cheating. Oh shit, I need one of those all the time now. Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly how it went. But I can't
It's
remember who it was now.
it's the same with shortstop too. So. All right, so transitioning over to the PL, because as you said, it's tough this year. Like, we don't talk about Bob being on the chopping block very often, and to be fair, right now he's technically not, but it's rough out there. From 4 down to 9, it's a 3-game split.
Well, yeah, I was gonna say from from 5 to 8, like any of us could be in that relegation series. Even Miami could be above, get out of that
or
spot.
be in the promotion, or be in the tournament too. All four of them.
Yeah. Because, like, I mean, there's still plenty of time. So, like, even at, like, it looks like New York has a big lead. A couple bad sims could put us all really close again.
Oh, yeah, because if you think about it, when you're in those teams of four, you need, to make up the ground and beat other teams too. But from New York's perspective, one bad sim, if he has like 1-in-6 sim or 1-in-5 sim, if any of those four teams behind him has a 7-0 sim or a 6-0 sim, now it's a lot closer. So he's in much more tenuous ground than any of you feel close to him.
But yeah, even like Miami's team, I thought was pretty good. It's just, unfortunately, the PL is just horrible this year. Like, it's very hard to, like, you cannot go, and it doesn't matter. There's no easy sims anymore. Like, last year, there was one sim where you'd have, like, the bottom two teams were, like, really bad, so you knew you were going to get, like, 3 wins, at least, in that sim, so you felt okay. There's not a single sim like that this year. You just go in and pray. Like, you're just, like, praying you don't go 1-in-5 or 1-in-6.
Like, you might get San Diego, but even he's not trying to lose. He's still got some quality players on his team.
He's swept me a couple times already. And I'm like, God damn, like, that's the one. I gotta get one of those wins. And I see that, I'm like, I know it's gonna be a bad sim.
But now we also got to talk about, because this is the end of the run for San Diego. This is the end of the line.
Yeah,
it's got to be.
Been what, 13? This is the 13th season now.
I believe this is 13 straight years in the PL. He's gonna finally drop down to the Silver League, but I think he won 5 relegation series.
Yeah, I mean, he beat me, I think, at least once. I think
he beat me too. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I'm gonna look real quick while we talk, but yeah, I mean, he had a great run. I mean, it's you don't see it like, I mean, you see it from the big guys. They always, like, Bob's been in there forever.
Like, yeah, but someday Bob, I'm again little rumor. I have it on good information, anonymous league source that is Bob himself. Bob told me Bob would entertain the idea of managing another franchise someday.
I mean, at this point, I mean, you kind of did all you can do with Toronto. That wouldn't surprise me one bit.
Yeah,
that's kind of why I left Phoenix in the beginning, because I won there once. I was in the PL for 20 years, and it was still going. So it's kind of just like, I mean, I like this team, but it's like, it's hard to just take it down yourself. You know what I mean? Like, you almost feel like you're doing a disservice if you just tear it down. And I tried multiple times. I'm sure Bob kind of feels the same way. Like, you're sitting here at 29 and 32, and you're like, I mean, I'm only one game out of being in the TOC, but it's like, how many more times am I going to do this? Like, if I keep finishing towards 5 or 6, like,
it's tough, and that's kind of why I originally left Cleveland, because I spent real life years, like 2 years, trying to learn how to win. And that's, we get new players come in and they beat their head against the wall for 6 months, 7 months, and they feel like, I'm never going to do it. And it's like, yeah, you're not there yet. You got some guys been doing this for a decade, pretty much. So it takes some time. But then once you climb the mountain, you're like, what do I do now? And it's kind of funny that as we're having this chat in the Discord in random, we're talking about culture, which is kind of my, like, academic interest. And it's like, to tear down a team, again, even though we're just talking about a glorified Excel spreadsheet, you really have to tear down and replace a culture.
Yep, and it's hard to. I mean, some people make it look easy. Like Duncan's done it a few times.
He's got a mind for it.
But I've tried to do that, and then it's just kind of like, I've had plenty of picks. I've done the whole pick route, but I've never gone to, like, bottom of the barrel in the CBA. Like Austin does not Austin, like Otto does really well. Like, he's doing it right now. He's on the verge of getting out of it now, it seems like, because, I mean,
and he's doing his getting out of it really well too. He is. he's doing what I say. He's taking his I call it the gap year, where you're not really trying to lose anymore, but you're not putting expectations on the team. Just get some guys some playing time, hang around 500, get one more decent pick, and then your guys are ready to win the next year. That's how I feel, and it seems like that's how he's doing it.
Yep, and that's how I started when I was in Chicago. I started that way too because I took on a team that was close-ish. It felt, but I didn't feel like it was actually. I didn't have the players there I really liked. I just liked the name. I just liked Chicago.
Well,
I did that. I did that very similar as what you were talking about.
Yeah, and I think in the past we've seen teams like me way back in the day. Austin's done this to himself a couple times where you try to make that jump from a team that's losing 90 plus games to a team that's trying to win 90 plus games. And just like in real life, that's really hard to do with the same players. No one's going to grow that much in 1 year. It's just not going to happen.
I also think a lot of times people don't. I think one thing that's overlooked a lot in this league is paying attention to your competition that's in the league you're in. Because you could try to make that jump, but if you're in a league with like that and Houston, like how Houston was in the BL, like you're not getting out.
Yep.
So, like you could try, but now you just wasted resources to try to get out in a season that you're pretty much not getting out. That's why I applaud what Duncan did so much this year. He looked around and saw that the BL is complete dog shit this year. It's awful. It's maybe the worst BL I've ever seen. And he decided to just kind of go for it, and it's like paid off big time. And now he can add little pieces here and there, but like he doesn't have to make that giant trade to finish in first place. He's pretty much got it locked up as it is because the BL is so bad. So I applaud when GMs look around and notice their situation and they kind of take advantage of it, or know not to take advantage of it. Like that's something that's not really talked about much in this league, but I applaud it when people do that.
I agree completely, and I would even say that one of the biggest mistakes people make, new, old, whatever GM, is they go all in on what's essentially an incremental step. You don't want to go all in to get promoted to either the Silver League or even the Premier League. You need to have some resources left for the push in the Premier League. If you're wasting your resources to get there, you're going to run out of steam when you're there. That's really the difference. Yeah. I mean, and we can argue all day about what Mark did or didn't do. I don't care. But that's really why he was so good for so long, is because he never ran out of resources. He never burned resources to keep competing, and so he would get some extra stuff.
He always had his picks too, which are pretty key in my opinion.
Yeah, they are. I mean, that's how you stay. Like trading your picks is like taking out a loan, and eventually that loan comes due, and you don't have anything to pay it. Like it's just it. You're just putting a timer on yourself when you start doing that. But if you don't plan well enough, you're going to have to do that to get there. It's the trade-off.
The only time I will think that you can do that is if you're making the jump from the BL to the SO. Because I feel like you can still build a team in the SO if you can stay there. But you should never do that to go to the PL. Because the PL will chew you up and spit you out, and you will feel so defeated.
I think, in fact, you would only want to trade your picks when you have a clear plan to make that pick worse than it is when you trade it. So if I'm trading you right now where I'm at like 115, I'm trading that to you hoping to try to make that closer to 125. That's where I'm going to get value out of that.
I have built. I mean, it's not a super secret, but I have done that so often where people thought they were making a trade because my picks look good, but I had a plan in the future to make it not look so good when the draft actually hits. So.
Yep. And people can't get mad at you for that. So, like, I've even had trades where I'm like, give me my pick back, because if you don't give me my pick back, I'm just going to try to make it as bad for you as possible. So I'd rather not spend the whole year trying to screw us both over. I'd rather just work for my own benefit. I did that with Galveston a couple years ago, I believe.
Well, that's kind of why I traded. I just did the trade in this year's draft, is because I looked at what Carolina was doing. And, I mean, is the pick going to fall much further than, like, 120? Probably not, but I saw a player I really enjoyed in this draft, so I decided to just, why wait and see if I like someone next year? Go get the guy I like now. That's kind of how I've always done it. So
exactly, and that's, going back to the best advice I ever got in this league came from Scott, and he told me, because he he's a guy that never even played this game outside of this league. He just kind of was like, oh, this sounds fun, and he's just as cutthroat as Bob is. But like he's really good at what he does. And so I said, man, what clicked for you right away? And he said, I just find players that I like and I go get them. That simple.
Yep. It really actually is that simple, especially if you know what you like instead of trying to do a bunch of different things at once.
Yep.
Which is kind of like how, I'm always going to like power hitters. I mean, I don't always have power hitters, but I do enjoy power hitters. I'm not going to pretend like I don't. It's obvious.
It's like as much as you try to get away from it, they keep finding their way on your team. As we talked about that a little earlier, it's like there's nothing you can do about it.
And it's just like it's kind of if I'm going to win, it's probably going to be with a team that looks like that. It's just, that's how I got to the TLC finals last year. I mean, I've been to 5 TLC finals since I've been in this league. I mean, I've lost 4 of them, but I've been to 5. So I've had.
I think I've been to 3 and I've won 2. So. Yeah, I think I've been to 3 and I've won 2.
Yeah, I think I've lost 2 to Dustin, just by himself. So.
But it's funny, just to go really quick, when I went to Phoenix, I had this plan. Like my plan to go to Phoenix was I've spent the last 5 years building this team based on defense and no home runs. I can go in there, I can make Phoenix even more accentuated to home runs, and I'm going to build a team totally differently. And I never got there because in the first full season I had the chance to go for it. I sold the entire future to go for it, and I won, so there's no complaining about it. It's just that I had nothing to do for like 5 seasons after that.
Yeah. It's because you went for it, but you got what you wanted. But then
exactly. So it's like, well, you took out a huge loan and you can't pay it. So now, like, even 5 years later, when I handed that team over to Otto, he was like, "What did you leave me with?" I was like, "Nothing, man. There's nothing there.
Literally nothing."
Like you could just release everyone, start over. It'd be the same thing. There's nothing worth having there, at all. All right. So. Just to kind of transition, we're kind of winding down on topics. You mentioned that someone said you said this was the worst BL you've ever seen. I'm not disagreeing. Why do you say that?
I just go off of this. I mean, no offense to Duncan, but this Reapers team isn't even that good. Like, it's good, it's solid, but his pitching, like, I would say it's like literally 1 starter deep. The starters are pretty much. And like he's got a couple good bullpen pieces, but he needs more. Like he's told me he needs more. So I like the offense a bit, but like Josh Brinkoff should not be hitting 390. Like he's a 250 hitter hitting 390 because of how bad the BL is.
Well,
you actually look at the team. Like Vancouver's in 2nd place, and he has like the team's solid because like Austin had a good. I mean, Austin was trying to make a push, so
yeah.
But it's not that good of a team. Like it's still it's very far away.
Yeah, it's half
far away now. Even further away now because the GM's like kind of selling a bunch of pieces anyway.
Well, so actually, I didn't put it on the agenda, but we did segue there. We got to talk about it. There's been some controversy on those trades. I know.
I wish you wouldn't bring this up because I'm trying to bite my tongue really bad because I don't.
Well, we can walk a fine line here. I think we can. Because there's been, and this is not for you, you know what I'm about to say, but this is for anyone listening. Over the years, there's been a lot of trade drama, this and there. And there's been actual times of collusion. I know I'm about to talk way too long, but I'm going to try to keep it short. The one that everyone points to is when I was new to running the league, and Bob and Mark made a trade. What no one knows is that in DMs, both were kind of like, we're going to do this. What are you going to do about it? I took it as a dare to do something about it, and even though I probably wouldn't do this in any other situation, I did something about it there. And I had to make up some other excuse, but that's what that was about. My preference is to let people do what they're going to do.
Yeah, I think that's generally a good... I mean, that's what I was telling you. I was like, well, if this is now how that's going to go, that's fine with me. I'm actually very good with the league not really policing trades unless it feels like it's obviously collusion.
Right, and that's all I care about is actual collusion. Like actually, real life example, the Cleveland Spiders were owned by the same guy as St. Louis Browns. He basically sold all the talent to St. Louis Browns, and we know how that ended. That's not what we want to happen here. Or we don't want, I really hate this GM, so I'm going to loan you my player for nothing so you can beat. We don't want that happening. But aside from that, I think the rules committee, where it is right now, is reluctant to step in, because then when you step in, you're going to create drama for stepping in too. It's like you can't escape drama no matter what you do.
Only issue I have with that is people have had no problem stepping in when certain GMs are
correct, and that's involved. and that is incredibly fair criticism. Incredibly fair criticism. I will say in the past, for many of those, I wasn't involved. I may have shared my opinion, but I had no decision-making capacity.
You were not.
And I say that knowing full well there is hypocrisy in my own tenure. I just admitted to it. I know that. What I've said to the rules committee, and what I think this is the direction we'd like to go, is right now we have a few teams that we're watching for lower activity. I won't say who they are because I want to keep that between us. But we're watching a few teams, and I expect at the end of the season we'll have 2 to 3 openings right now. That's kind of what I'm thinking. I would like to bring people in as a batch, and I'd like to really start reinforcing that new GM's channel. It's there. We add people to it, but it's not really been used much because we're bringing in one person at a time. I'd like to reinforce that. I'd like to really start putting messages in there like, hey, guys, remember, welcome to the league. Remember to run your trades through here, please, because if you don't, you're doing it at your own risk. But I don't want to cross that line of telling you what they can and can't do.
I will also say this, as a GM that's been here a while, you should really tell that person to get a second opinion or even a third opinion. I do that in every trade I've done with a bunch of GMs. I'll say, go reach out to Duncan, or there's a rules committee, go message them or talk.
There's people reach out to me and have for years, so.
Yes, because I'm like, I don't want you to feel like you're cheated after the fact.
Right.
Which is why I won't go into what trade it is, but there was a trade that I thought was pretty unfair. But I've grown to where I didn't say anything because I don't want that GM who thinks they just got a good deal for their team to now feel like shit after it. We're here to have fun. It's really, most of us, this is an outlet from a shitty day of work or something happened in your relationship. So we're all here to try to have fun and enjoy ourselves. So that's not something I'm going to try to make someone do in the future. I will never try to make someone feel bad for something they did and something that's supposed to be fun. But that's why I'm like, I hope it's like that for every trade, though.
Right, it should be.
Now, so now 3 people are going to be pissed off.
Right, and it should be like that
on this trade as well. So.
And so what I've done personally, when I've had people run stuff by me, is, and I can't speak to everyone's strategy. You handle people however you want to handle them, but I kind of say I'm going to give you my unfiltered opinion, as though I don't know you and I don't have any stake in this trade. You can do what you want to do. It's up to you. But this is what I would do if it were me. And I leave it at that. And I don't push for decisions any further than that. But just try to giving advice of, okay, if you do this, that's fine. I think teams A, B, and C are going to be mad and say you're not going to get enough. If you can handle that criticism, go for it. I've said that before.
Yeah, I think it's funny you say that too, because I feel like usually when I do trades, I'm kind of subconsciously trying to be the person that feels like isn't getting enough, because I feel like I can handle that criticism more than, say, a new GM. You know what I mean?
Right. Yep.
It's like I've done deals with Tyler where I felt like I went on my way to purposely overpay, because I feel like some GMs, it won't hurt me if I'm giving an extra 3rd round pick. You know what I mean?
Right.
It doesn't really hurt in the long run. I don't give it. I would probably trade it for something stupid anyway in the future. But if you can make someone feel really good about a trade, they may want to do some more trades. You know what I mean? They'll be more comfortable. They'll have more fun and stuff like that. So
you hit it on the head, and I've done it not just with Tyler. I've done it with other GMs, other newer GMs.
Yeah,
where maybe I can give you a player that you don't see value in, but I'm like, hey, this guy, trust me. I know your team. I know your park. I've played against that team in that park every year. This guy plays well for you. Put him in there, you'll see what happens. And if they do, and the dude does put up 2 or 3 WAR, well, then you're right. Next time I come with a trade and I'm like, hey, I got this guy. He may not look sexy, but he's going to play for you. I'm going to get that credit until that guy maybe is a dud, and then, oops, I lied.
He burns you then.
Yeah. But at least I built that up for the big trade where maybe I'm being a salesman more than an actual friend. That happens.
Yeah, it happens.
It does. Any thoughts on the Silver League, I guess, before we go?
I mean, what can we not say about Kentucky? Like, the run he's been on is insane. Like, he might break my win record from the CO, which would be crazy because I did it in the BO.
No, I don't think so. He's already to 13 losses. He had a really good run. He's gonna need at least one more win streak of 15 to do it. He could, definitely could.
You think so? Yeah, I mean, let's see. Let me see.
But unlikely. But I will say it does appear to be a pretty bottom-heavy league. Like teams 4 through 10 are all at least 19 games behind. But it's one of those cases where Kentucky maybe tanked a season too long, and now they're just a PL team that's not a PL.
Tanked a season too long, which I kind of give him shit for that too.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, you should have went earlier than that. Like.
Yeah.
I'm going to be. I sound like it, but I think a lot of the BL teams tank a season too long, to be honest.
Yeah, and I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it a season too short.
Go for it. Yeah, probably. You always do though.
Well, it's because because you don't need a good team to beat the Bronze League. Like you need to really.
I mean, I'm looking at these teams. I don't think next year's going to be any better either, to be honest.
No, but I will not be tempted. No, I will not be tempted.
Like Phoenix could go for it, and
Phoenix should go for it next year.
Vancouver could, but they're kind of not. They're selling already. The Shoremen look okay.
If Otto's smart, he's going to soft go for it. He's going to give up no real assets to go for it, but he's going to put a hammer lock on it. Get a little bit better. You got the prospects ready to go. You're taking this gap year where you're going around 500. Just get a little bit better. Try to get a solid starter here, solid starter there that you don't need to give up anything serious for.
Does Atlanta still not have a GM?
It does not right now. So that's one of the ones that we're going to be filling.
See, that's such a shame too, because like I like Atlanta's looking really good. Like it needs some tender love and care because like they got kind of. I would like there's a couple things I'd like to do with this team. Like it's not mine obviously, but like they have. They shouldn't be. Like they have Tilly, who's like awesome. Like this is a fun team that really needs a GM because this team could do something in the playoffs too. Like if they get in, the pitching's good enough. It's like a deep enough team. I mean, it's not. I
agree. No, it's not Kentucky, and we keep circling around the topic of culture, and it's funny because JG is a great example of a lot of things I've talked about in this podcast, where a guy comes in. And it's got a really steep learning curve. Like, poor JG beat himself up against the Bronze League promo series 3 or 4 times. That's brutal. But he was building something. He was really building a solid franchise here. And it sucks that life got in the way for a little bit. I hope he comes back soon.
Yeah, he did. He built a very fun franchise. I mean, there's not a ton in the minors. And he didn't really have any picks, but...
Perfect example of the learning curve, though. He's got his focus on his major league team. He learned how to do that. He's doing that well. The next step when he comes back is building the hierarchy of the depth behind that.
This goes out to anyone who takes over Atlanta. Hit me up because I'd give you a lot to get Gallegos back. I shouldn't have traded him. One of the many guys. I feel like I trade too early, but. Yeah,
we're gonna fill that. We're gonna fill that spot, and you're gonna be in their DMs so fast.
Yeah, Cancun's fun. Like I give so much credit for what he did with Cancun after what happened.
We gutted that team. I felt bad how badly we gutted that team. Like I was like, we went around to.
Alex was for it though. I give him credit for that. He wasn't pissed. I mean, it didn't seem like it at least.
Yeah.
Like he understood the situation.
Yep.
And he just kind of went with it. And the team looks so fun. Like. He got Maldonado from Philly, who I moved to Philly. Like this is another guy that I'm like, man. I mean, I have like 30 fucking left-handed corner outfielders, but
I know
he looks fun.
you can really collect them if you're not careful. They're all over, but it's finding the good ones, not the ones who look good on paper but can't do anything.
And like Marin's still doing it. Like
yep, and that's perfect.
Like,
that's if there was one guy you wanted to keep from DC, it was Tony Marin. Like obviously.
Yeah. This is another team that I think is kind of scary actually. Like this team and Atlanta are going to be like only one of them are going to get in, but whoever gets in I think could be a lot more dangerous than people think.
Yeah,
I very good up from top to bottom.
I agree, and Otto doesn't have a bad record in the TOC though. Otto could be looking for his third TOC. Well, all right. It's been a pretty good long podcast. Anything else you want to say before we go? I just want to say that note about trades. I think we walked that line pretty fair.
Yeah, I think we did. Dude, look at Kentucky. Kentucky is I actually the first time looking at how much they're just dominating.
Oh, I know they're crushing it.
This is such a good team.
They're first in everything.
With doing no moves, they could just win the PO.
Oh yeah, like this is another two of the Columbus crew built a team that they could literally walk away from for a year and still win the TOC. Tampa did it. Kentucky could do it right now. Not that Mike's going anywhere, but he definitely could just walk away.
Even New York, our reigning champ, who has like an awesome team. Like he's still in the top 3 of the PL, looking good. He still has the pitching. Castro's still pitching pretty well.
I do hope we get a meetup. I do hope we get like a league meetup someday because I met the Columbus crew when they were still together, and they are young. They are young men. They are a little rough around the edges, a little immature at times. But you can see it in the way they run their teams. They're really smart, capable young guys. Really.
You can tell by talking to them. They're very smart and they're good people. They're good guys.
Yep, they are. So I do hold out hope, to circle back to the first thing we said, I do hold out hope that J-Dubs, all the stuff that's swirling around, I do hope that calms down and he comes back someday. That would be great. And I hope we get a meetup someday too. That would be awesome too. So,
and thanks for being great GMs, guys, because this league is full of amazing people and amazing GMs. It's the best league I've ever been in by far.
It's great.
Close. So thank you.
This is the only league I want to be in. I was in one league one time, and I was like, this is not even close to the same. This is not fun.
I used to be in 2 and 3, and I just dumped them because I'm like, I just keep coming back to this one. I'm barely exporting the other ones. So.
Yep. All right, man. Thanks. We'll see if we have someone else on. We'll see if someone else wants to pick this up. We'll see what this becomes. I just wanted to get the ball rolling, and I appreciate you.
You're very welcome. I will be sorry. I'll be here anytime you want me to be.
Thanks. I hope to have this up later tonight. I'm going to cut what I'm saying now off. In fact, I'm going to stop the recording.